This 2-ingredient condensed milk, also known as Russian buttercream, is a great recipe for everyone to know about. It's super easy to make, it's great to pipe and frost with, and can be flavored a multitude of ways. First up, we're going to do a recipe that doesn't contain any flavorings at all, and it's just composed of butter and condensed milk. So take your butter, add it to a mixing bowl that's been fitted with the paddle attachment, and whip that on high speed for about 5 minutes. At that point, it'll look like this, so it'll be lighter in color and it'll be a little bit fluffier due to the air that we pushed into the butter. Now we're going to add the second ingredient, which is sweetened condensed milk, and we're going to add that in 3 additions, mixing after each addition. Now some people wonder about the lack of sugar in this recipe, because sugar is a common ingredient in most frosting recipes, but I think you'll find that the sweetened condensed milk is sweet enough on its own. However, if you do find that you want your frosting a little bit sweeter, you can add powdered sugar at this point. After all the condensed milk has been added in, you can add in the optional flavorings such as almond or vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, but you're going to want to mix it for at least another 5 minutes to make sure that it's nice and smooth before frosting with it. Note that I have written the ingredient amounts for this recipe, but if you need a quantity for a different kind of cake, like cupcakes or something like that, go to my website, click on the Cakeculator, and it'll generate a custom frosting recipe for you. Alright, this is the finished frosting for the condensed milk buttercream, and you should notice that it definitely has a very creamy color. Now, if you find yourself needing a whiter buttercream, I use Americolor's gel food coloring in bright white. I've also learned from other bakers to put a couple drops of purple food coloring to offset the orange. I've also seen some bakers do both. This one only has the bright white food coloring, but just so you can see the difference, the one on the right is before coloring and the one on the left is after. Okay, so let's try the chocolate version of this buttercream. To a small bowl, add some Dutch processed cocoa powder and baking soda and stir it until it's combined. Then add your boiling hot water and stir it until it forms a paste. So you're probably wondering about the baking soda, but we're not doing any kind of leavening with it in the frosting. It's an alkaline ingredient that reacts with the acidic cocoa and makes it turn darker in color. Don't worry, it's completely neutralized and won't make your frosting taste funny so long as you use boiling hot water. And the other reason you use boiling hot water is it allows the cocoa particulates to bloom more easily, so we get a deeper cocoa flavor. So set that aside to cool while you prepare the base of the buttercream, and it's the same exact thing. We're going to cream some butter for about 5 minutes until it's really light and fluffy. Then add your condensed milk in 3 additions, and once all that has been mixed in, add in all of that chocolate paste that you set aside. Then I add a pinch of salt. I love salt in baked goods, especially chocolate desserts. It really brings out the flavor. And just make sure that once during this process you scrape down the sides of the bowl. It'll be pretty obvious because the chocolate will kind of indicate how thoroughly mixed everything is, but you want it to be definitely chocolate colored all around. Now, just like the plain buttercream, you're going to want to let this run for another 5 minutes to smooth out any of those tiny air bubbles so you get a super smooth finish. But let me show you my secret for getting a super smooth buttercream. You might have actually already noticed, but I switch out my paddle attachment for this silicone coated one. Now, this is a completely optional step. You can still get a super smooth buttercream using the standard paddle attachment. I just find that with this silicone coated one, with smaller amounts of buttercream, it's much easier to do. And here's the finished chocolate buttercream. It's nice and smooth and has a great chocolate flavor because of that chocolate paste that we made in the beginning.